In the 60s, one group stood at the very top of popular music. They was glamorous, groundbreaking, and unstoppable. The world knew them as the Supremes. With hit after hit, the trio helped define the golden age of Motown. But as the decade came to a close, everything began to change. The departure of Diana Ross reshaped the group's future. New singers joined, new sounds emerged, and the Supremes entered a completely different era. One of the women who stepped into that evolving story was a singer with deep musical roots and a powerful voice shaped by gospel and soul. Before joining the Supremes, she had already worked alongside one of Motown's greatest musical geniuses. And for a brief but important moment in time, she became part of one of the most legendary groups in music history. This is a story of the Supreme that many fans may have forgot. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Lynda Laurence. Now before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Lynda Tucker was born on February 20th, 1949 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Music surrounded her from a very early age. She is the daughter of gospel legend Ira Tucker, lead singer of the Dixie Hummingbirds. Her powerful voice developed through gospel influences and the rich soul traditions that defined American music during the 60s. Like many singers of her generation, she was inspired by artists who was redefining popular music. That Motown sound was spreading across the country, introducing audiences to a new era of soul and rhythm. She began her singing career in a group that was named the Pendles. Her sister Sandra Tucker was also in this group. But Lynda's journey into the music industry would take an unexpected path. Before she ever joined the Supremes, Lynda was already working with one of Motown's most greatest musicians. She became a member of the vocal group Wonder Love, the background group that supported Stevie Wonder. Wonder Love appeared on stage and in the studio during a time when Stevie Wonder was transforming from a child prodigy to one of the most influential musicians of his generation. Performing with Stevie Wonder meant working in a creative environment where experiments and musical evolution was consistent. This experience helped Laurence refine her stage presence and vocal power. Little did she know that even a bigger opportunity was awaiting. When Diana Ross left the Supremes in 1970, the group entered a new chapter. Lead singer duties was taken over by Jean Terrell, whose powerful voice helped the group score new hits such as Stone Love. But the lineup continued to evolve. Members changed, musical trends shifted, and Motown itself began transforming as the 70s progressed. By the early part of the decades, the Supremes were searching for new voices to strengthen up the group. That search would eventually come to an end when they found Lynda. In 1972, Lynda officially joined the Supremes. She replaced departed member Sidney Birdsong and became part of a trio that included founding member Mary Wilson and Jean Terrell. For Lynda, joining the Supremes meant stepping into one of the most famous musical legacies in history. Even though the group's biggest chart success had came in the 60s, their reputation as global stars remained strong. Audiences around the world still came to see the Supremes perform, and Lynda quickly became part of that experience. While the Supremes at Motown, Lynda did not record lead vocals. However, she did sing lead in concerts on a couple occasions. As a member of the Supremes, Lynda spent most of her time touring internationally. The group remained a popular live act, performing classic hits alongside newer material. Their concerts featured songs that helped define the Motown era, including timeless classics associated with the group's earlier lineup. For audiences, seeing the Supremes was more than a concert. It was a chance to experience a piece of music history. But while the group's live popularity continued, changes was once again on the horizon. Lynda's time with the Supremes lasted only about a year. By 1973, she decided to leave the group, mainly due to the things that was going on around this time with MOTOWN in the group, especially when MOTOWN fell in to promote the group. Despite their popularity, by the end of the year, Terrell and Lynda decided it was best for the Supremes to leave MOTOWN and find a new label. Wilson disagreed, and MOTOWN, they controlled the name The Supremes, so Lynda was replaced by a returning Birdsong in October, just as she was expecting her own child. Although her tenure with the group was brief, it came during a pivotal period when the Supremes was adapting to major industry changes. The early 70s saw the rise of new genres like funk and disco, while many Motown artists was exploring more socially conscious and experimental sounds. The Supremes was navigating through this landscape, while also maintaining their legendary status. Lynda's presence helped the group continue that transition. Laurence, Tucker, and a soon-to-be member Susan Green, among others, same background. On Stevie Wonder's album, Songs is a Key of Life in 1975. Laurence collaborated with her sister again that year, this time as part of the Wilton Place Street Band. Lynda's husband, Trevor Lawrence, who was a record producer and musician, led them in recording the song Disco Lucy, which was a remix of the I Love Lucy's theme song. She not only provided background vocals for Stevie Wonder, but she also provided vocals for Aretha Franklin, Joe Cocker, Jean Terrell, Ringo Starr, Brandy, and Martha Reeves, to mention a few. After leaving the Supremes, Lynda Laurence stepped away from the mainstream music industry for a period of time. Later in life, she returned to performing and became involved in gospel music. Her career eventually came full circle when she reunited with former Supreme members for special performances celebrating the group's legacy. These appearances reminded audiences of the many talented singers who helped shape the Supremes' long history. In 2000, Laurence joined Diana Ross and Sherry Payne for the Return to the Love tour that was billed as Diana Ross and the Supremes, despite the fact that the three members was never in the group at the same time. The tour was canceled after less than a half of scheduled dates. As a solo artist, Laurence recorded the songs Give Me Back Just a Little Piece of My Heart, Life is the Reason, and Make Your Own Kind of Music, among others, which was released under the name Norma Lewis in the late 80s. In 1990 and 1991, Laurence also recorded several solo tracks for Motor City Records, including the single Living with a Married Man. The label folded before Laurence could release a full album. Laurence once again replaced Sydney Birdsong. This time she joined Jean Terrell and Sherry Payne to form the former Ladies of the Supremes in 1986. They released a number of songs, including Rear Back, that was released in 1987 and also had a feature of Ali Wilson when he left the Temptations. The group released Supreme-inspired remakes as well as a catalog of non-Motown and original compositions. Laurence left the group in 2017 and Suze Green took her place. Laurence rejoined the group in 2024, taking over for Green. As of 2026, the group is still actively touring, and they recently celebrated their 39 years of being together. When people think of the Supremes, the conversation usually begins with Diana Ross, but the group's story continued long after Ross pursued a solo career. Artists like Jean Terrell, Sherry Payne, and Lynda Laurence all played a role in keeping the Supremes alive during different eras. Each brought their own voice, style, and personality to the group, and together, they helped preserve one of the most important legacies in music history. Lynda Laurence may not always be the first name mentioned when discussing the Supremes, but her chapter in the group's story is still an important one. She stepped into a legendary group during the time of transformation. She helped carry its music to audiences around the world, and she remains part of a musical legacy that changed the course of pop and soul music forever. Because the story of the Supremes isn't just about one era, it's about every voice that helped keep their music alive. And for one unforgettable moment in time, Lynda Laurence was one of them. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. Who is your favorite Supreme member? Before I go, I want to take a second to promote my Discord. Over here, I provide a safe space for my supporters. We discuss music of all genres. You can provide me feedback on recent uploads, etc. If that interests you, then go ahead and check me out. The link is in my bio. While I have y'all here, if you would like to support the channel further, then feel free to become a member. By doing so, you help make these videos possible. I thank each and every one of you who supported me along this journey.